What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pick Six Podcast, CBS Sports NFL Podcast. I'm Will Brinson. I'm your host, and I'm joined by the super friends, Ryan Wilson and John Breech, along with the pauper of the power rankings. Prince. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. The prince of the power ranks, the one, the only, Pete Prisco, the man who requires a lot of alliteration and apparently a noise reducer on my microphone because P's pop, Pete.
I usually make things pop. That's how I roll.
I don't know how to take that, but I like it.
Club and the club pops. Are you kidding me? Come on. You know me better than that.
They call you popcorn machine back in the day?
No, you know what? I walk into a club and they go, "What's the old man in the club
Yeah,
doing?"
what's Pops doing in here?
Pops.
Yeah, because I can't assimilate in any space whatsoever, right? You know me better than that.
Hey, Brinson, before we get going quickly, I just want to rank the CBS HQ anchors and Pete, who did the Jalen Waddle celebration dance. Pete is in last place. Tommy Tran is the next to last. And
Tommy's was way worse than mine.
And then Akeem and Brandon. You were terrible.
What are you talking about? Mine was good because I got a shot in at Tua. Throw me the damn ball. Finally threw me the damn ball.
What about we have Musso? Katie Mox did it too. Joe Musso. I mean, what do you rank them?
Yeah, everybody. Look, I did it.
You muted yourself, Wilson.
Seconds. How hard is it to do the dumb dance, anyways?
Apparently impossible. I thought Musso did well. B-Mac, I thought did pretty well. Katie did well. Amanda wore a helmet. You could at least try an extra prop. You didn't do any of that.
Pete, you looked like a bear doing the waddle, an impression of the waddle.
That helmet, I brought the helmet out and was gonna put it on. It's too big for the head. I would have been mocked. That has no padding. That helmet has no padding in it.
You have a little head?
Your head shrunk too, huh?
Oh, yeah.
No, there's no padding in the helmet. It's like they have these safety helmets because they're not real. You know, so they don't want anybody to go out and put a helmet on like a Miami Dolphins and go out and outside and clank heads, which would be fun, by the way. That would be a good. We should do that one day.
Okay. Let's do it. I'm down. I got. This is actually a prototype NC State helmet that you can't get anywhere else.
Well, those are probably on sale this time of the year after what happened last week.
That was bad. Yeah, I'm actually. I mean, if I were ranking like things I don't want in my life, NC State football is up there right now. But
worse, Arizona State football.
That's true. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe while you're at it. If you're listening on any of the various podcast platforms, make sure to hit us with a 5-star review. Go back one show in the feed. You got Katie Mox, myself, Emery Hunt, and Prop Stars looking at early odds for Week 5 before you bet anything in the coming week. You're going to want to check that out. And today we're going to cover New York's football meltdown, look at Pete's Week 5 power ranks, and rank QBs who should be benched. But first, Pete, nonsense power rankings. Wilson tried to. We're going to squeeze 2 in because we got through Wilson's Waddle ranking so fast. I know that you're a big Taylor Swift fan.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look how high that right eyebrow got up. That's when you know Pete. That's when you know Pete is like, oh.
I told you, I'm going in October.
He's got front row seats to go see Taylor.
I'm going in next October. I have tickets to see Taylor Swift in
like October 2024.
Yeah, and I'm already sweating.
You want to go so badly that you plan this 12 months ahead?
No. She's not doing any tours until then.
My wife
in Buenos Aires in 3 weeks.
A lottery. Her friend got the tickets, and she wants me to go. And if the price doesn't go to extreme high places, which I hope it does, we'll go. If it goes to extreme high places, I told my wife, I said, you can sell my damn ticket.
Hey, let me ask you, Pete, if this is not too personal, what does extreme high places mean to Pete Prisco's budget?
Well, I mean, I looked the other day, the tickets where we got the tickets, and I don't know what they paid. They're up to $2,000 already.
That's extreme high places.
And you probably paid like $300 for them, right?
I don't even know what she paid for them, but I'm the drag along. This is one of those, you get dragged along for the ride. Somebody asked me.
So your wife and her friend are going.
Like and her husband, and they're big Swifties, and so she got me a ticket, and I'm the drag along.
I mean, the move is you say, look, sell my ticket for $3,000, and I'll split it with you. You spend $1,500 on having a good time and upgrade your hotel, and I'll go party down on South Beach.
Yeah, well, that's probably what we'll end up doing. By the way, I mean, somebody asked me the other day, can you name any Taylor Swift songs? And I said, no. I know them when I hear them, but I can't name them.
Shake It Off.
And you have a year to learn them, Pete.
All right, well, let's get into the silly rankings really quickly. Give me your.
I will say this: I'm going to see Chicago tomorrow night. In case it's my birthday.
Band Chicago?
It's my birthday Thursday. My wife got me tickets to go see Chicago Wednesday night.
I love Chicago.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's going to be an awesome show. I can't
wait. The Broadway or the band?
The band.
Oh, okay, good. 25 or what is it? 26 or 3 or what? What's the song?
25 or 6 2 more. Saturday in the Park.
Yeah, Saturday in the Park. Chicago rules, man. That's awesome.
You got them all. You got tons of them. And then you have the later ones that actually my wife knows better than me because Peter Cetero kind of took over and had his own little.
What you were born in 1917. So how old does that make you?
What's that?
So are you 60, how old? Are you 61?
I'll be 63 on Thursday.
63 on Thursday.
Oh my gosh!
My brother Rich turned 64 today, so we were 2 days apart. He got kept back a year. I told you this story, right? We moved to South Florida. He got kept back a year, so we were in the same grade in high school. So all the girls would come up and go, "Are you guys twins?" And I go, "Yeah, my mom held me in for a year and 2 days."
By the way, happy birthday to Richie.
Yeah.
And Pete.
And Pete. Yeah, Pete. Happy early birthday, buddy.
Did we get him a cake?
Yeah. No. Are you gonna get you gonna have to work on Thursday?
Yes.
Where is Chicago playing?
At the Hard Rock.
Oh, sweet.
And at the Commander Stadium because it's Chicago versus Washington on Pete's birthday. What's the chances?
Wednesday night, it's going to be awesome. My wife took Thursday off from work for me, and we're going to go have a good old time on Wednesday night. It'll be fun.
Okay, what do you think? So if you take 25 or 6 to 10, or 25 or 6 to 4, I'm trying to do the math here. So that's 31-30. Who score? Does the band Chicago? That's 35. Who scores more, Chicago the band or Chicago the Bears?
The Chicago the band.
Yeah, I think so.
We're going to question about that. The Chicago the Bears. Justin Fields played better last week. That's
all right. We're going to rank celebrities that we might see. We'll try to get back to that. We need to get into. Well, who are the most
celebrities?
Who are the 3 most famous people you've ever seen at a football game?
At a football game?
Not counting football players.
Ooh.
Or like a sort of football event. So you could like Madonna.
I was watching Monday Night Football once back in the day when you used to go out in Fort Lauderdale.
I mean, you in person would see him.
Yeah, I was with him. I took a picture with him. Muhammad Ali.
Oh, that's a good one.
And you know who happened to be there that same night in the same bar? Donna Rice.
Who?
Donna Rice. Do you know who Donna Rice is?
Oh yeah. She was on the tank. She was with the guy on
the
tank.
Wait, you weren't even at the game. You were at like a bar.
Sports bar on a Monday night, watching Monday Night Football.
That's wild.
And Muhammad Ali was there, and Donna Rice was there, both in the same bar. So
that's
Dukakis?
Wild. Is that Donna Rice? Dukakis?
Yeah, no, she was with Gary Hart.
Oh, remember? Gary Hart out of Colorado. That's right.
That whole scandal ruined his political career because they got the pictures on the boat. So
Gary Hart.
I watched the 2008 World Cup match between America and England at a bar with Idris Elba, and nobody knew who he was because he wasn't like really famous then.
Stringer Bell.
Did you get a picture with him?
Yeah.
You hung out with Stringer Bell.
Yeah, my brother was like, "That's the dude from The Wire." I was like, "No, it's not. What is he doing here?" He's British, so he's like the only guy in the entire bar cheering on the.
By the way, which goes back. This wasn't a football game, but I was at a hockey game. I was at a Rangers game at Madison Square Garden. A buddy of mine got me and my wife tickets way back in the day, and got on the elevator. And who walked in?
Who?
Omar from The Wire. And I was standing in there, and it was quiet as could be, and I said, "Pete, don't scare." And he looked at me and started laughing, and he was awesome. God rest his soul because he's passed away. But yeah,
I got a photo with him in the New Orleans airport going into the Super Bowl against the before Breech worked at CBS, the Ravens and the 49ers Super Bowl.
I've run into a ton of famous people. I'm just trying to think over the years, and I always say something. I'm one of those guys that always says something.
Always say something. All right,
not surprising at all.
I saw Madonna at the Super Bowl one time too. I didn't get to talk to her per se.
Well, remember they always had the halftime show. People would come into the press, so those don't really count, do they? They're not random.
No, yeah, the random ones are definitely better. Anyway, Pete, you're the star we want to see. We want to defend your power rankings. Do we really though? Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football showcase New York teams that stunk the joint up, but the Jets actually kept it close. The Giants, woof. What do you have the Giants over the Jets? You sure about that? Because the Giants stink. Yeah, did you do that? Did you do that before the game on Monday night?
No, but overreaction to Zach Wilson. I mean, are we really going there already after 1 week? He looked like a functional NFL quarterback in 1 week, and now he's I mean, Daniel Jones, they're so banged up. I mean, that's part of the problem with them. And I know Aaron Rodgers isn't there for the Jets, but this league has gotten, and the media especially, has gotten so out of control with the overreactions for one game.
What about 4 games for the Giants?
Huh? Yeah, I mean,
they played crappy in 4 games.
Yeah, 3. They played terrible for 3.5 games, man.
The offensive line is awful, by the way.
What about the Seahawks offensive line? They don't make any excuses about those guys being banged up.
Well, I mean, they're banged up, but they have better players outside too, don't they, to throw to?
Yeah, but I mean, I think the Jets are better.
By the way, the correlation that I made all throughout the offseason with the Giants, and I mean, I think it makes sense, but obviously the quarterback situation is different. 2017 Buffalo Bills go 9-7 with Tyrod Taylor. They draft Josh Allen. They find a quarterback, and it was like everybody knew they were really lucky to go 9. And they had 9. They go 9 and I hate this 9-7. Make the playoffs, lose in the first round, and then the next year they go 6-10. They started out 1-3. Just interesting. And the point being is, like, you get Brian Dable, you get Joe Shane from Buffalo. It felt like they got lucky to get in the playoffs last year. And now, do you think they're a victim of their own success?
Yeah, but they can't get rid of their quarterback. They just paid him.
I know. Well, just like, remember, people were like, "Oh, they drafted Josh Allen. Well, they're screwed." I mean,
I don't know if this feels like the Bills. It feels more like Jacksonville, where you had a playoff run with Blake Bortles, then you decide you tie yourself to him by giving him a contract, and that was the overreaction. And that's exactly what the Giants are doing. They dug their own grave because now they're tied to Danny Dimes for at least 2 more seasons, whether they like it or not.
Danny Dimes wasn't good last night.
He's not the problem.
Yeah, he's not the problem.
What quarterback would have been good back there?
And nobody.
I mean, there are a couple, and Mahomes probably would have still found a way.
Yeah, but you still can't have a backbreaking fumble and give the other team a free touchdown and then throw the ugliest pick six. That wasn't the offensive line's fault.
That's true.
Well, not just the pick six. You got to throw to the corner. He had Waller in the back.
Aaron Waller was wide ass open.
Yeah, and Waller, by the way, hadn't done a whole heck of a lot either.
I think he's hurt.
He's always
Yeah, that's true too. They had him blocking a lot last night because everyone else was hurt, but then you're not using them. The running game was sort of okay. The special team stunk. And to Breech's point, it doesn't matter whether you're Patrick Mahomes or Daniel Jones with no arms. You can't throw that pass right to Devin Witherspoon.
No. And it's not like Seattle's that good, and they didn't do a whole heck of a lot on offense last night either. So
didn't need to.
The Giants, they didn't. But if the Giants score there and make it 14-10, do they at least get into the game in the
I think the game's a lot closer.
Yeah.
But you know that Pete Carroll has zero respect for that team because he went for it on 4th down, which is something he has never done in 73 years.
He never goes for it on 4th down.
Yeah, and that even gave him a little bit of life. But you know what? You go for it when you sit there and know they're not going to go score. They can't score.
And also, like, that Noah Fant 51-yard catch down to the 1-yard line was so fluky. I mean, it looked like he stepped out of bounds 4 times. His knee hit the ground.
They also busted the coverage on that. And,
you know what the next gen stats said? They said that there was 15.3 yards of separation between Noah Fant and the next closest Giants defender, which is somehow second worst this season. And Joe Musso was like, the Bengals are Breech. The Broncos are definitely number 1. They've blown so many coverages this year.
They blew something like
0.3 yards.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
The guy he's supposed to get outside and he stayed inside, and that was easy.
They stunk. Every phase.
They stunk on the joint. At least, like,
Thibodeau had a couple sacks. That's a good sign.
Who did?
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah, he looked good.
He dropped an interception, but okay.
Yeah, that would have changed the game right there. It's funny how, and every coach says this. There's 4 or 5 plays every game that change the outcome of the game, and you think about it. It's not just they change the outcome of the game; they change the feel of the game. If he picks that off and runs in, it might be a different game.
It was a tough play, but I'm sure he thought he should have made it.
Well, the first bobble, maybe. The third one, he should have pulled it in. He should have. You know what he should have done? He was trying to catch it and run. He should have dove for it and got on the ground and would have had a pick.
They get so excited they can't do that.
So I think your top 5 is. I actually called it on yesterday's show before you said it in, and I said it would be 49ers, Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, and then probably Cowboys. I think was the phrase I used. I think it's a pretty solid top 5. Like, it's hard to argue with any of those. And if anybody wants to say, "Oh, Chiefs," like, I think Bills could be 2 or 1. I think Bills could be 1. Honestly,
They can't be ahead of the Eagles. They're undefeated. They've won.
Right, Eagles and Niners are undefeated. Right, exactly. So I'm fine having them 1 and 2.
Make a case for the Bills over the Chiefs, but you could also say, the Chiefs went to New York and beat the Jets, and they didn't.
That is correct. Jaguars Bills in London on Sunday. Are the Jaguars going to play Cam Robinson?
I don't know. To be honest with you, they have a weird situation there because their best offensive lineman has been Walker Little at left tackle. He's the long-term answer. Robinson hasn't worked at left guard. Little played the last preseason game at left guard, and that's the major problem right now. So what do? I think ultimately you get your best 5 on, which I think they'll end up moving Walker Little to left guard. I would put Cam Robinson at left guard, even though he hasn't worked there.
Just hope he holds up.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that hard. He won't like it. He'll complain. He'd complain about it, but I don't care. But you got to get your best 5 on the field. They'll both be on the field on Sunday.
So wait, did they take him to London with him?
Oh yeah, he went last week. Yeah,
okay.
He went with them. They were allowed to take him with them, so he's there and ready to play. I would assume he's in decent shape and not great football shape. Remember, he was in camp, so he'll play. I would play him. And their offensive line actually played better last week. The right guard played better. Sheriff played much better. The rookie right tackle was much better last week. He had a rough go of it against the Texans in some situations. So I think they'll be fine on the offensive line, and that's been what's holding them back. They'll score this week. Buffalo's really good, but they'll score this week. I don't know if they're going to stop Buffalo.
Yeah, I kind of like the over in this spot. It's like 48.
Yeah.
Do we know when the Bills are going over there?
Yeah, I think they go Thursday, I think.
Yeah, that's
well,
late.
if they haven't left yet, then they're doing the end of the week thing. So
yeah, they usually go on Thursday night and get there Friday morning, do a little something, then they kind of get their Saturday in and then play the game.
It really seems like these teams have decided to avoid taking the bye after London lately too. Like Jacksonville's coming back and playing the Colts the week after.
Yeah,
Falcons are playing this week. They're not taking their bye after getting beat up.
Yeah. It's a tough turnaround. Remember, this is a Bills home game. This is not Jacksonville's home game. It's Buffalo's home game.
Bills get Sunday night next week against the Giants. So that's a pretty solid.
If you're Jacksonville, you'd rather play Buffalo in England than play them at Buffalo.
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah, for sure. And worth noting too, as we pointed out yesterday, that the 2 games in Tottenham Stadium last year, they don't have like Wembley has that grass. Tottenham has the NFL turf. Both games went over the total for those games. If you were interested in such things, Chiefs and Vikings this week. Any chance the Vikings dig out of this hole?
No, not that. I mean, what does Brian Flores do?
Yeah, the Vikings at 29.
Brian Flores attacks and blitzes and everything else. I think Mahomes is going to light them up this week. The Chiefs are playing consecutive road games, never easy. And coming off a Sunday nighter, which isn't easy, but that defense gives up a lot of big plays. And when you play Patrick Mahomes, the one thing you don't want to do is go attack him and leave those guys in one-on-one situations. He's going to kill you that way. That was the book on him. Remember, everybody said, okay, you play him off coverage and he'll have to evolve. Well, he evolved and he became good at that too. But I think you'll see more man-to-man from the Vikings. I don't know if they can keep up. And I just think this is a bad matchup. But they do have all their games left in the division, though. So it's not done. I mean, they play everybody still in the division, so they have a chance to turn it around. But I don't think they're that good. I think defensively they have major issues.
They weren't good a year ago either.
Well, I mean, in Brian Flores' defense, they only gave up 6 points to the Panthers on Sunday. I mean, that's kind of a step forward. The Panthers scored 13, but there was a pick 6 in there.
A tiny quarterback who's not playing very well.
Well,
but I went back and watched all the snaps. He actually played pretty well. He had the fumble. Otherwise, he had pretty good.
Oh, my God. You will defend that kid to no end. It's ridiculous.
Watch the tape. Learn the game.
Look, he made a couple good throws. Elementary decisions on not seeing blitzes. That's on him. You have to give it up. When a guy doesn't play well, just say he's not playing well. You're allowed to say that. You can say that. Your evaluation's better if you're honest.
My mother, Ann Brinson, the retired Reverend Ann Brinson, texted me and said, She said, why does the Panthers head coach call the plays? She's like, is that normal? You sure you should be doing this? They were at the game. She's like, I don't think they're very good.
He's going to give you a better evaluation of Bryce Young than Ryan Wilson gives you. I don't understand, seriously, he's not playing well, and you sit and defend him at every step of the way. I mean,
I don't defend him, but
he's going to end up being a good quarterback. I think he will.
I'll just say this. So your buddy Rick Spiel and I talked about the quarterbacks today on the podcast, and CJ's a clear number one, the rookie quarterbacks. Number two was Anthony Richardson last week, and then I had Bryce third. I mean, yeah, he didn't play great, but he didn't play terribly. He made the one mistake, and you're right. He missed the blitz. They had 7 guys line of scrimmage on the fumble. You can't do that. But he did make some good throws. So I think it's progress.
In fairness to him, he doesn't have a ton of help around him.
Oh,
I think the receivers are slow.
Thielen played his best game. Thielen struggled this year. But yeah, no, he was third best of the.
Thielen's been fine this year.
The flip side of that is this. The Texans were down 4 offensive linemen. They played their third team left tackle last week.
Dominated.
And look really good. So, So
Bryce Young is now tied with Aiden O'Connell for Rookie of the Year odds, 75-1.
And Aiden got sacked 6
Yikes.
against the Chargers.
And he also fumbled twice and threw an interception.
They gave the same Brandon Staley's job.
How are they doing, by the way, for me?
Will Levis. He is off the board.
Yeah, there's still time.
Sprinkle, Brinson.
Wilson, well, you can't bet on anything. I believe you're going to ask Pete something about the Cowboys and the 49ers.
I think I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask it as written. Do the Cowboys move up if they beat the 49ers? I feel like they go to number 1. I mean, I don't know if they're.
Yeah, how high can the Cowboys go if they beat the Niners?
They beat the. It depends on how they beat them. You know, I think that matters. I mean, if they beat them on a fluky play or something, that they won't go to 1. But if they beat them up, yeah, they can go to 1.
I don't think it matters how you beat them because the 49ers have been so dominant.
Yeah, what if you have two muff snaps and they turn them into points and they win 14-13? Yeah, give me a break. It matters how you win.
Okay.
But if they beat them up and slow them down and take McCaffrey out of the game and play great defense and Parsons all over the field, and Dak doesn't throw interceptions like he did in the playoff game last year,
oh gosh,
then I think they'll move up. They have a legitimate chance to be the 1 team.
Okay. What if the 49ers win 41-7? How far do you drop the Cowboys?
And then that means the last 2 road games have been a disaster for the Cowboys, and that's a major concern. Remember, they got run over by the Cardinals. The Cardinals went through them for 200, and if the 49ers do that to them, they drop way down.
I don't know. They're still going to playoffs.
Well, but I mean, the Cardinals basically did what you would hope the 49ers will do, which is run at Micah Parsons.
The 49ers offense is so well designed, and it makes it so easy on Brock Purdy. And they have playmakers at so many spots. And Kyle Shanahan's a great play caller. He compensates for the right side. The right side of the offensive line is bad, but he compensates.
But you're going to give Brock Purdy some credit too.
Well, Brock Purdy's playing well. He's smart. He knows where to go with the football.
Okay, I want to make sure.
There's no doubt about that. Didn't you have him as QB1 that year?
The year before he came out, I had him going in the first round in his early mock draft.
I think I had him going first overall in my way too early mock draft.
That was Jake Fromm. Nice try.
I had Jake Fromm too. I had Brock Purdy for sure.
No, you did.
Right,
I did. I swear. With his junior year at Iowa State, I had him in the first round.
Check the receipts on that.
He was good in college. He was a good college quarterback.
Yeah. And he's, as you point out, he's in a great situation. I mean, if he were in Pittsburgh right now, he'd be like Kenny Pickett, sitting in a wheelchair somewhere, wondering where things went wrong.
In Carolina, he'd be like Bryce Young. I mean,
that's right.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll find out if Breech read the rundown and knows what question he's supposed to ask Pete. Next.
The best way to watch all the Europa League action is back. From lineups to the final whistle, catch every goal from every match. Europa League Golazo Show on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount Plus.
The Pick Six Podcast Show on CBS Sports. We're not on HQ. It's not really the show. It's just the Pick Six Podcast. Will Brinson, Ryan Wilson, John Breech, joined by Pete Prisco. Breech, I'm sure you're dying to ask Pete about some team from the AFC North.
Well, Brinson, as we know, I don't read the rundown, but as you know, I am an AFC North expert, self-proclaimed. So yes, obviously I have a question. Pete, do you think the Ravens are actually for real? I mean, you're talking about a team that you look at, they beat the Bengals in week 2 with a hobbled Joe Burrow
Pete's
out
power
there.
rankings, by the way.
They beat the Browns, who are starting a rookie quarterback. They lost to the Indianapolis Colts. So, you know, it's hard to make anything of their wins, and you have them 6th overall. Are you convinced that they are a top 6 team?
I don't think you've seen the best of the Ravens offense yet. I think it's just starting to happen. And even though you pointed out their schedule's been favorable, but the best of their offense is coming. I think as Todd Monken gets more comfortable and Lamar Jackson gets more comfortable with him, the offense, and they need the playmakers. Those guys haven't been on the field either, a lot of those guys. So I think they've had a ton of injuries, and they still found a way to go 3-1. I mean, their injuries have been incredible. You look at the guys who are not playing, it's incredible. So to answer your question, yes, I do. And it's all about Lamar becoming a pocket passer and becoming a better pocket passer, which I think he will do.
I like it.
I like it, Pete.
Are the Bengals done? That's the question.
That's a great
No,
question.
they're not done. The next question, they're not even close to. If they lose to the Cardinals, I
Is
won't.
23 low enough for the Bengals?
This week against Arizona, and then they have Seattle at home next week. So
And then the
those-
bye,
they'll
then
win-
San
they'll win
Francisco
both of
and
those.
Buffalo.
They'll win both of those. They'll go into their bye 3-3, and they'll be happy.
So
And
if
they'll be
they
more
lose
panicking.
to the Cardinals, are they done?
If
They're
they
done now.
if they lose to the Cardinals, that's a problem. If
No,
they, all they need
are
to
they
do-
done? Yes or no? Not a problem. Are they done?
No, if they win one of their next two games and get to the bye at 2-4, and Burrow is 2 weeks to heal, I think they'll be okay.
Is 2 weeks enough for a calf that took 6 weeks off
No.
and never to heal?
No, but you get better. You can.
The calf isn't
Maybe
healing.
Nick Bosa and Von Miller will help us calf.
It
I mean,
gives, it just gives you a chance to kind of reconfigure your offense. I mean, look, we saw last year when they lost Jamar Chase the first game without him, they got blown out of the water by the Browns on prime time. They spent the week, kind of figured out the offense, what it needed to look like without Jamar Chase, and then boom, they won almost every game for the rest of the season. So they just need to rewire. They'll be fine, I think.
You can't even
Maybe.
convince yourself. I can tell in your face you don't
No,
believe it.
he doesn't believe it. It's amazing, by the way. When teams take the field and they know their quarterback is hurt, everybody starts pressing and it gets worse. The offensive line knows they have to hold their blocks more. The receivers know they have to get open quicker. It doesn't happen. The defense knows they have to play better. You think about that. It happened last week. Cleveland's defense didn't look great last week because they pressed. They knew they had to be even better than what they were because they had a rookie quarterback starting. So I think that's the thing that concerns me about the Bengals. If Joe Burrow's never Joe Burrow this season, they're toast. They have no chance.
I think Breech knows that in his heart of hearts, and you
He does.
probably
He just
wish
doesn't
they
admit it.
had rested him earlier, Breech, or no?
No, absolutely. I
You
still
wrote
think
about
they should have rested him before even the Rams game. They should have rested him up into the bye.
Yeah.
I thought that was their best bet. They didn't do it, but now they have to win one of their next two games. That's really what it comes down to.
So wait, so you think they should have rested him all the way to the bye, not played at all?
No, I think they either should have rested him from training camp until mid-September until it was absolutely 100% and there was no issues. So don't even start the season with him. But once they started the season with him, then I thought after week 2 that they should have said, all right, let's sit him till the bye. When it became clear that he couldn't run the offense that they need to run.
But you did get one out of it. So I mean you did get one. So
right, and that's a big one.
If you didn't play, you weren't getting any. And if you didn't have any bye, you're toast.
Right, and to me, so it's only worth it if you get 2.
Right.
So because a backup quarterback could have maybe lucked into one win. 1-3 during the 4 weeks Burrow's out is not okay.
A backup quarterback, Jake Browning could have beaten the Rams on Monday night the way that defense played for Cincinnati, and could, in theory, I think, beat the Cardinals as well. So like they probably screwed up not resting Burrow.
And Wilson's making that face, but we all remember what Ryan Finley did.
Yeah, if you weren't wearing a long sleeve shirt, there you go. That's right. That tattoo caused by that.
Accidents happen once in a blue moon. Come on, give me a break.
The Houston Texans were 31st in your rankings just 2 weeks ago. It feels like last week we were talking about the Texans shooting up your rankings, and that's because we were. They went up 12 spots to 19th, and this week they jumped another 7 spots to 12th overall. How are you so wrong about the Texans? And would you like to apologize?
Everybody, all of us, every single one of us.
Not me.
3 people on this podcast actually all said that the Texans were a good bet to win the AFC South.
You picked the Jaguars. What are you talking about? I know
They're
you
a good
picked
bet. I said they're a good bet. I talked to the Texans all offseason. I just didn't really like CJ
I
Stroud.
said the Texans would be feisty, tough, and win 6 games, 7 games. And that's exactly what they are. They might be better than that. I think DeMeco Ryans is a hell of a coach.
Yep.
And that just, you can pop on the tape and watch his team. They play hard, tough, physical, nasty. They run to the football. And the fact that they played with 4 offensive linemen down, in fact 5, because the backup left tackle didn't play either, and they held up is amazing. But you know, the quarterback is real. At least it looks like it. And when he's good, everybody else, again, it elevates everybody else's play. Nico Collins wasn't good last year. He's good now.
Tank Dell.
Tank Dell gives you the speed. Defensively, they have good players, and a lot of those guys have been hurt, in the back end. Petrie came back last week, but they've had injuries back there as well. So it's a good, tough, physical team with good, not great players, but good players, and they play hard.
Reminds me a little bit of I don't want to give it like the full Patriots, 2001 thing, but like Belichick, when he like rebooted the Pats on defense by going out and getting like veteran guys that he believed could make an impact and like raise the floor of that defense. And they sort of did the same thing, it felt like, in Houston. Yeah,
and Will Anderson's been good. He's just not an elite pass rusher. He's been you put on the tape, man, he plays a run well. He's tough. He knocks guys back. I just don't think he's ever going to be a Nick Bosa, Von Miller.
No, he's not. That's fine.
Parsons.
Well, that's an elite pass rusher.
He's not going to be an elite pass rusher. He's going to be a good pass rusher.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's going to be better than good. He'll be between good and elite. The other thing worth noting, by the way, I think D'Amico Ryans was the exact right call. We talked about this on the podcast about how typically offensive-minded coaches are where you want to go, unless you have a leader. And D'Amico Ryans feels like that. But credit to him for also going out and getting Bobby Slowick.
Bringing him with him more than going out and getting him.
I was going to say he was with him in San Francisco, and I watched all of CJ's throws because we had to talk about it on the podcast against the Steelers. That was a fun watch. But Slowick has answers for the quarterback. The quarterback has answers if the play is out of structure. He's throwing on time. He's throwing accurately, and he makes it look easy where you go around the league to New York, to the Giants, to the Steelers, to the Bears. It looks like those offenses have no answers to anything, and those guys just started playing football 2 weeks ago. So I think there's a lot of credit to go around, and it's fun to watch that team.
Yeah, Slowick deserves a lot of credit. Again, it's the tree. It's the Shanahan tree. It just drops them off. I mean, everywhere you get I'm talking about the Mike Shanahan tree. To Kyle, McVay, LaFleur. There's only one guy that doesn't really work. If you count, is Staley kind of part of the tree or not?
He's on the other side of the ball,
I think he's Vic Fangio tree.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say about the Texans, real quick, is just it reminds me of 2012 Colts with Andrew Luck his rookie year, where you just had such a bad team the year before. Yeah. No one thought the quarterback, Luck was obviously a generational prospect, and people thought he would make the Colts a little better, but even most people didn't expect they would get the playoffs in his rookie year. And now it looks like, Stroud might get this team to the playoffs.
Do they beat the Falcons this week? That's the question.
Yeah.
Yes, by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think that's not even a stretch.
2 touchdowns is a lot.
Have you seen the Falcons?
I know.
Falcons have played good. Falcons are Desmond Ritter's 4-0 at home.
The Falcons haven't even scored 2 touchdowns in their last 2 games combined.
Yeah,
Brinson gave that doesn't matter face.
It's still the NFL. It's still the NFL. You get full of yourself a little bit. You start reading your press clippings. You go on the road against a team that got beat up in London, and they're now they're at home. And
you got like Wilson and Breech talking about how the Texans are going to win by 14 points, 14 plus points. Like this reeks of a Falcons win.
Yeah, it's at play in that game. The NFL formula is perfectly at play. Now, in fact, I don't even know what the line is. What is it?
Minus 14.5 wins over Wilson.
It is something I'll tell you just real quick.
As the CBS Sports picks leader, I think 14 points feels like a good prediction.
The Falcons are minus 2.5. I wonder what you guys would be. This is the best bet for me. Falcons minus 2.5.
Yeah, I like the Falcons that thing too. But hey, you're leading the picks, Breech. That tells you how poorly we're all doing, because we've been stinking it.
Yeah, Breech is typically pretty terrible.
Look at the records from last week for everybody. By the way, just take a look at them.
You were 6-9-1, 7-8-1 for me. Dubin and Breech went 9-6-1. Wilson went 8-7-1. So in first place right now, Breech is 33-29-2. No, you're not leading. Dubin's leading. You're leading.
Out of us 4, I'm leading.
That's not the CBS Sports Picks leader, you clown. You're 3 games back in the lead.
I'll give it to you, Breech.
You
need a victory this season.
Fine. I'm in second place out of everyone, but out of everyone in this podcast.
Jamie go 4 something.
Dave went 4-11-1. Jamie went 5-10-1.
Yeah, it was a bad week across the board.
Yeah, except unless you're a donkey like Breech.
Yeah, Breech, you're a donkey.
So Dubin's got 36. Breech has 33. Sully has 32. Wilson has 30. Pete has 29. I have 28. So it's all pretty tight there.
We all stink.
Yeah. Somebody's going to have a big week and like make a surge, and then Breech is going to be like, well, why don't we look at straight up picks? That's where I've
had 2 bad weeks in a row.
Breech always talks about how straight up is what matters, not anything else.
I'm winning that one. I know that.
Nobody cares about
not one person on God's green earth cares about straight
Breech's daughter cares.
Smart people make their money.
He's doing her football pool. He likes them.
You know, Breech will bet like minus 300 money lines for like $10.
Is he winning straight up? Or is he bragging about that too?
Yeah.
They hit all. I am.
It's pathetic.
Again, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. He's been bragging about it for like 10 years. He's like, I went straight up every year. It's like literally, you're the only person who clicks on that page.
Win straight up every year because Dave Richard usually wins straight up every year because he says the same damn thing. And I go, Dave, nobody cares.
Yeah. Nobody cares about straight up.
Leave Dave alone.
Leave Dave alone. Look, Ryan takes up for everybody just like he takes up for Bryce Young every week.
Wilson, did you look at the rundown today? You got questions that you're supposed to ask. Like it says
you
were
crushing Breech about all his shortcomings, and I was trying to defend Breech.
Thank you, Wilson.
You're asking about the Jaguars now.
Short.
No, we're not doing
Is
the
that
Jaguars.
the
Terry
fun?
wants to move on. So, I'll ask you this, Pete. What's the Steelers' biggest problem? They look good on paper. Harry wrote that on the rundown. He's right. In real life, they look like straight up dog dookie.
They look awful on Sunday. The offensive line is a major issue. Pickett wasn't playing well. And defensively, how the hell do you play a line with 5 guys down with your pass rush and you don't disrupt the game? You didn't disrupt the game.
And they got run on by a Texans team that couldn't run the ball.
Correct. That's inexcusable. It's almost is that not the classic case of a team who played back-to-back road games?
That's a classic case of that team not being prepared. I've seen that movie play out a million times.
Well, isn't Mike Tomlin a Hall of Fame coach? I mean, how does that happen?
I don't
you
know.
have veteran leaders on that team? That shouldn't happen.
You know where I'm going to point the finger, but the defense did stink it up.
You're
so it's
going to
not.
point the finger at Pickett.
No, Matt Canada.
Oh, well, that goes without saying.
But, he's not calling the defensive plays, I don't think. We can blame him for that, but the defense stunk.
Yeah, the defense, I thought they would go in there, get short fields on turnovers, and they would be disruptive and dominate the line of scrimmage on defense. And even as bad as their offense has been, they would get some points out of it. That didn't happen.
Breech, can you take any solace in the Steelers being terrible, or are the Bengals too much on your mind?
I can't believe that they're equally terrible and that a offense that has Kenny Pickett at quarterback and Matt Canada's offensive coordinator has been just as good as the Bengals offense this year. So
that is sad.
Is that taking solace? I don't know, but that is how it feels.
That makes me feel better. Thank you for that.
By the way, isn't this the same? This is like last year. Remember when the season started, everybody's talking about the AFC West is going to be like the SEC of the NFL. It's so powerful. It didn't work out that way. And then you look at this division this year. Oh, my God, the AFC North, everybody's going to be good. Well, we know 2 teams right now that aren't very good.
And one team is going to the playoffs. That's it.
Just Cleveland. We don't know how good Cleveland's.
And then you have Deshaun Watson refusing to play even though he's medically cleared.
Yeah. What's that about?
Yeah, I'd send him packing, but you can't.
What's the stat on Matt Canada? It's like the Steelers haven't. Oh, it's
a 0 in front of it. Whatever the next thing is.
No, the Steelers haven't gone over 400 total yards in a game in like 39 games or something like that. It's something insane. It's like every other NFL team averages 9.3 like games over 400 yards in that stretch.
Where is their? Okay, the outside guys can run a little bit, but they don't. The backs they're plotters. They don't. There's nothing there.
Jalen Warren's got a little juice to him, but they don't use him properly.
Here it is. This is from Shio Kapadia, for friend of the podcast. Streak continues. Steelers have now gone 39 straight games under OC Matt Canada without getting 400-plus yards. During that span, other teams, the other 31 NFL teams, have gained 400-plus yards. How many times do you think it is?
On average or combined?
No, combined. 31 teams in those 39 games for the Steelers.
What is 39 games? Like 3 years? 2.5 years? 2 years?
2.5 years, yeah.
90 times?
2.5 years?
90 from Ryan. What else? I guess
41 teams, 39 games.
Yeah, in the last
31 teams over 2.5 years.
Yeah, it's way over 90.
Okay, what is it?
I mean, you said 400 yards?
Yeah, 400 yards.
It's probably 2-something.
295 times.
I was going to guess 293.
Sure you were.
I'm just
I'll give it to Breech.
9.5 times.
The one over me.
9.5 times per team. Steelers had 225 yards this week. They've been under 300 in 3 of 4 games this season. That is pathetic.
Pete, let me ask you what I always.
400 yards isn't that much anymore, Ryan. In case you're wondering, 90.
No, that leads me to this question. I've asked these guys this basically every week, and this is how terrible it is to have to watch this nonsense unfold in real time. What does this offense look like if, say, Kyle Shanahan's calling plays? And that's all. I always go to the extreme. Give me the best, and can you fix this steaming pile of crap? And this team would be in first place in the conference, in the division. Sorry, 3-1, 4-0.
Maybe, but okay, we'll kill the offense. That goes without saying. But last week was about the defense, though. Give me a break. That was about the offense
didn't do anything.
I know, but that defense, you're supposed to be a dominant defense.
No, I get it. But I mean, the offense isn't helping them out. And the other thing to keep in mind, and we talked about this, I don't know what the team was. There was a team that was on the field a bunch last week that had a good defense. But when your offense goes 3 and out, 15 straight drives, your defense gets tired. And I'm not blaming that for the Steelers the way they played. But in general, at some point, you like the offense to stay on the field for more than a minute and a half.
Also, get the defense can get the ball back and turn it over and get short fields, and they didn't do any of that either.
They stink. All right. Let's sort out the chaos in the middle of the power ranks. Actually, you know what? Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll sort out the chaos in the middle of your power rankings next. Hey, back here on the Pick Six podcast with Ryan Wilson. Will Brinson here with Ryan Wilson, John Breech, and Pete Prisco, the Pied Piper of the power rankings.
I love it.
Chaos in the middle. You got 3 2-2 teams that moved up 6 spots. By the way, you tell everybody not to overreact. I counted 14 of 32 teams you moved 5 spots or more, or from like 10 to 23. It's like everybody moved 5 spots or more except 2 teams. Titans, Chargers, and Rams all moved up 6 spots with their performance this week, and then the Saints, Colts, and Commanders all moved down 6 spots. Pick one of those that you feel like, Pete, is most likely to continue an upward or downward trend.
Okay.
So the Titans, Chargers, and Rams up, Saints, Colts, Commanders down.
Well, the Titans will have a good week this week because they have a bye. So Staley can't go for it on 4th and 1 from his own end. So that's good for him.
In the Chargers.
The Chargers. Yeah.
So you got the Chargers have their bye. The Titans are playing the Colts. Yep.
The Titans will be the one team that keeps going up. Mike
Vrabel's a dog again, +1 against the Colts.
Yeah, he's that team is tough. Their offensive line is bad, by the way, so it makes it hard to say they're the same old Titans because they aren't. But I think they'll still find a way to keep the same. They'll be the same team they always are when you look up at the end of the year. They'll be 9 and 8 or
and maybe
10,
a division winner.
Maybe
9 and 8, or like playing week 17 to try to win the division. Derrick Henry somehow has like 1,800 yards or something like that.
And Kenny Pickett is their quarterback.
Yes,
same team.
Instead of Joshua Dobbs.
You got the Titans continuing on the way up. Wilson.
I'm going to go with the Chargers beyond next week because I have faith. Brandon Staley will not continue to go for it deep in his own end, deep into the fourth quarter.
That was the smart answer.
With a game on the line. So I'm going with it.
You guys happen to see what happened at the end of that game when Asante Samuel had the pick?
Brandon Staley told him to get down.
Well, I don't know if he told him. I went back and watched the tape and pulled that play out to see what he was doing. He was going like this or something, and he saw it. And Samuel said it because he ran over toward him, and Samuel said he thought he told him to go down by what he was doing. I don't think he screamed go down, but his mannerisms were weird. Get the hell out of the way.
Samuel, he was taking that to the house.
You know what he was screaming, Pete?
Into the house because when you watched it on
you could see somebody coming down, but he was gonna have a chance.
He had a couple guys in front of him. It might have been 40 yards or whatever. Then it's a whole different scenario. If he's tackled where he went down, then it flipped the field and it became an issue for him at the end. What are you doing? Get out of there, Staley.
You know what he was screaming?
Huh?
I'm not getting fired this week. That's what he said.
Well,
he erroneously believed that if Samuel got down, that there was no chance they would have to give the ball back to the Raiders.
Well, we don't know that.
I don't think. And Brinson, the picture I shared with you, this wasn't me saying that I thought he said that. I think it was more of Pete. I think it was a celebration thing. But you can't celebrate like that because that would have been an all-time coaching gaffe. If Samuel went down because he thought his coach told him to go down, but his coach wasn't telling him to go down, he was just celebrating interception with some crazy arm. That's actually worse than telling him to get down.
Yeah, exactly. He's like,
but it was like this or something because I watched it again. It was weird when you.
He was like fist pumping, but like his arm is going down, which makes it look like he's saying.
He ran towards him, and when you run towards him, that means you think he's telling you to go down. So. Samuel said after the game, he was quoted, he said, I was telling me to go down with his celebration. So it cost him 30 yards at least. It might have cost him a pick six.
It almost cost him the game.
Right.
Yeah,
They went 3-0. And the Raiders
quarterback had 9 fingers. He was fine.
The 4th and 1 again was moronic, but he keeps doing it.
Well, I love that the quarterback
When's he going to learn?
The quarterback had 9 fingers at that point, and then you go under center, and you can't take snaps under center to try to get 1 yard. It was a poop show.
Breech, pick one of the 4 remaining teams that you think will go up or down. Titans or Chargers are off the table. The Bengals are not involved.
I think the Los Angeles Rams are going to go up. I think
you're a garbage human being for taking my Rams.
I think they are sneaky good this year. I think they might beat the Eagles on Sunday. And then you look at their schedule. They got the Cardinals after that. They have the Steelers. A lot of winnable games there. And Philadelphia has to fly across the country. Not going to be an easy game. And the Eagles secondary hasn't been great this year. They've given up the 3rd most touchdown passes in the NFL through 4 weeks. I think Stafford might pick them apart, and Cooper Kupp might be back.
Stafford's a little banged up, though.
Yeah, Stafford's whole career he's been banged up. He's made a.
I'm with. I think the Rams. I think Sean McVay's a great coach. I mean, just watching that. There's another team with a bunch of no-namers other than Aaron Donald on defense, and they play hard and tough, and they get after it. I'm with you. The Rams are an impressive team.
Rams would have been. I think the Chargers are the easiest choice. Don't mind the Titans. I think the Rams. I think all 3 of those teams on the rise. Teams that could go down. Like I almost think the Colts might not be terrible, and Jonathan Taylor coming back could help them a little bit. But I'm going to take the. I think Dave Otays of this podcast know where I'm going with this one. The New Orleans Saints, man. I don't think they're good. I just don't think they're a good football team. Did we talk? We didn't talk about these stats on the podcast on Sunday Night Recap, did we?
I don't know. What are they?
We did not talk about the Kamara stat.
Alvin Kamara, 14 targets, 14 targets, 13 catches for 33 yards.
Well, they averaged 3.4 per attempt.
Derek Carr had 23 completions for 23 of 37 for 127 yards. That is impossible.
Not true. Daniel Jones did it Monday night, but yes, I take your point.
That's 3.4. That's in the Gabbard zone.
He was hurt. They probably should have played Jameis Winston.
100%.
How much do you hate Jameis Winston that you're rolling at a one-armed quarterback out there who can't throw the ball overhand?
They were dominated in that game. That was
by the way, Kamara had 1 catch for 10 yards, which means that if you take that one out, he had 23 receiving yards on 12 other catches for 1.92 yards per catch.
The Bucs are better than everybody gave him credit for.
I don't know if you said it. Rick definitely said it before the season. Did you say that too?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Rick, you got the Bucs at 10.
Well, you know what I did? I went there in May.
Yeah, you were all over them.
I was all over them. And then I went back in July, and they had that stupid quarterback competition, which was a legitimate quarterback competition. And Baker looked like he was going in the jar.
That's right. Yeah.
I thought to myself, I don't know if I can go with this team now. So I changed my pick to the Saints to win the division. I wish I would have stuck with my instinct because Baker. Yeah. I like Baker. Most people. Baker's better than Deshaun Watson right now.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he shows up and plays, and he always plays with a chip on his shoulder.
He's tough. He's tough.
Yeah. But I think Tampa, you know what Tampa has? A nice mix of veterans and speed.
And those guys make plays on the outside too.
You know, guys can run, and they have young guys on defense that can run. And you mix them in with David, and that comes, you know, really Vita Vea was outstanding last week, just dominated on the interior. You know, Yaya Diaby. I mean, they have guys who can run and move and fast, and then they still have the veterans. It's a good combination. That's a good team right now.
Trey Palmer, you actually liked, so I'll give you credit for that one.
I did.
All right.
There weren't a lot of people in the league that liked them, though.
Wait, real quick on the Saints. You mentioned Kamara, 13 catches for 33 yards. Before Sunday's game, the record for fewest yards on 13 or more catches was 71.
Yikes.
So literally smashed that by going.
It's not even smashed. It's like
it's the reverse
sliced. It's like sliced. They sliced and diced that record up.
That is, oh my God.
My theory is that Derek Carr didn't want Jameis to come in and win the game, and then they'd like have to hear about a quarterback controversy. So he was able to, he forced his way out on the field and did his hell and let him do it.
They put the gimmick on the field a couple different times too.
Oh yeah, they're obsessed with old Taysom Hill. Okay, we're gonna get out of here on this. An on-the-spot power ranking. We're gonna make it up live on air, just for fun. We're gonna pick a number. With our powers combined, create one blind ranking. So there's only 4 of us here, so we'll let Pete pick 5 and number 1. So we're going to go top 5. Okay, so basically, as I think it's going to work, where Harry is going to give us a name, or Pete, or does Pete give us a number? Or wait, we're just ranking on. We'll just rank it. Pete, you get 5, and you get number 1. Quarterbacks who should be benched.
So 5 is the 1 is the most benchable.
Most benchable. Actually, what we need to have. You know, what we should do is have like I'll get 5 names, and you have to sort them.
5 that should be benched.
What'd you say, Pete?
Huh?
There are 5. Yes, there are.
Ritter.
I wouldn't start with. Oh, at the bottom, yeah, maybe. I mean, you think about it.
I think so. Like, I think if you did it in the way like the YouTube people do it, where we'll throw out 5 names and you have to slot them, and so like the final one could be Patrick Mahomes, and like he's number 1, you look like an idiot, but whatever.
Go ahead.
Desmond Ritter.
3.
Wow, I would have had Desmond Ritter at 1.
No, he's not the most benchable.
I don't think you should bench him. But go ahead.
Okay. Derek Carr.
5.
Joe Burrow.
Bench him?
Sit him down.
That was for Breech.
Sit him down or bench him?
Prisco doesn't know how to play these.
You sit him down on the bench.
Sit him down 4.
Okay. Bryce Young.
1. No.
No.
Who else needs to be bent? Daniel Jones?
New England.
Mac Jones.
He's number 1.
You think so?
Wow.
I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't bench any of them.
What about this one?
You wouldn't let Taylor Heineke go in Atlanta ahead of Desmond Ritter?
No.
I don't know about that. What about Denver?
I was going to say Russell Wilson.
I'm telling you, when I was there in the summer, there were rumblings that he was all in on Jarrett Stidham.
All right, well, answer the question then. Are you benching
Well, Russell, we only have 1 spot left. Russell's 2. So it's Mac Jones 1, Russell Wilson 2.
Yeah.
Desmond Ritter 3, Joe Burrow 4.
And here's
Bryce
why.
Young 5.
Mac Jones, when you talk about Mac Jones and Russell Wilson, you kind of know what they are. You still have to find out what Ritter is.
I get it, but no,
he's got to play for a couple more weeks at least.
I'm fine with that. All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Pete, who would be at the top of your Jones ranking where you have to pick a quarterback named Jones to bench? Would it be Mac Jones or Daniel Jones?
Mac's ahead of Daniel, I feel like.
Make it worse. Jones
or Indiana Jones would be a better quarterback than either of them.
Young Indiana Jones.
QB1. Ryan's QB1 from the draft. Mac Jones.
Over Trevor Lawrence. You know it. You read it here first.
Did you really have him as your number 1?
I had him as my 0.05. That's how much I loved him. He was at the very.
You had Mac above Trevor Lawrence?
You didn't know that?
I thought it was like Mac was just your number 1.
Mac was my number 4. Pete's just like the jab.
No, he wasn't your number 4. He was not your number 4.
I got receipts, Pete.
You were
speaking of Pete taking jabs. Did you know Aaron Rodgers called Travis Kelce Mr. Pfizer today on the McAfee show?
you weren't as dumb to have him ahead of Trevor Lawrence, but you had him right behind him.
No, I did.
It is. Do you know what the most important lesson Wilson has learned as the junior draft analyst here at CBSSports.com?
Don't tell Pete anything. Yes.
No, there's zero repercussions for being wrong with your rankings.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just like back in the day when I thought Christian Ponder would be good. There's no repercussions for me. Rick Spielman drafted him. Look at the repercussions for him.
Yeah, he got fired.
Oh!
He got fired, Pete.
Not for Ponder, though.
He also drafted Kellen Mond in the 3rd round. Ooh.
I love Kellen Mond.
We brought that up again on Sunday. He was making a crack about something I said about a quarterback. I go, you drafted Kellen Mond.
You guys are terrible.
Ryan liked him too.
I just said that. I just admitted to that.
Ugh.
I think Ryan likes anybody Rick drafted or Rick likes.
Ryan, you ever think about switching to contacts so you see the screen better?
When I'm watching the guys.
Rank contact brands.
What are you watching? He liked Malik Willis too. What are you watching?
Oh, stop it. Stop making up stories, Pete.
All right. That'll do it for us. Got all kinds of rankings. We ranked celebrities. We ranked Chicago songs. We ranked quarterbacks who need to be benched.
You don't know the Chicago songs.
I do.
You give me 5 before we get out of here. Give me 5 Chicago.
I don't know if I can name 5, but if I hear them, I'll know them. I listen to Chicago. My parents love Chicago growing up. I listen to it all the time.
Yeah. See, he said he could, and he can't.
I mean, can you name 5 off the top of your head?
Yeah. 25 or 6 to 4, Saturday in the Park, Color My World, If I think about it, yeah, maybe I can.
Will you still love me tomorrow? That's theirs, right?
Those are the later ones. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
the
no,
inspiration. Good call.
I got
Harry.
one. Yeah.
Everybody needs a little time away.
All right, that's the
from
cue.
each other.
You're the meaning of my life.
Did you say hard to say I'm sorry?
Hard to say I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for us. People need.
I'm sorry that people had to listen to that.
Me too.
This is true. Pete is Joffrey. He's the villain, but he makes the podcast fun.
And then he jumped. Oh, no spoil.
I take that, by the way, I take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Pete.
All right,
No-
well, Pete's
no
going
spoiler
to jump
alerts?
out the window now.
Yeah, turn around and jump out the window.
All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hit us with a like and subscribe. Oh my God, I thought Wilson fell in his chair for a second. Hit us with a like and subscribe. For Pete, for Wilson, for Breech, I'm Brinson. We'll see you guys later.